Okay, I think Atik we are on. Good evening, everybody. How are you today? So today's session will be about the listening section and how to get your listening score from repeat sentence. As you can see from our listening score matrix, that repeat sentence contributes up to 26% of your listening score. So how to get the maximum score from the repeat sentence to your listening score will be answered today by our senior instructor, Atik. Atik, how are you?
Good evening, Ali. Dear viewers, hopefully everyone's doing well. Yes, Ali, it's surprising, is it not?
It is so
We are talking
surprising.
about repeat sentence, which is a speaking section question, but all our research indicates, and we've got data from hundreds and hundreds of students and our research team indicating that repeat sentence could contribute up to 26% of your entire listening section scores. So it is the highest contributor towards your listening section. But it is part of your speaking section, and the students tend to neglect that aspect and just solely maybe focuses on their speaking, or just doesn't give the added attention it requires, especially towards your listening. Now I want to shed some light into the marking guidelines first, so that the students are aware of what they're dealing with, and what's the real implication and why we are saying that repeat sentence contributes 26%. That's number one. Number two is to make them aware of where they are actually missing out on. That's again going to be achieved through understanding the marking guidelines. Number three, of course, is also to bring about why are the students struggling in repeat sentence. Okay? And then, of course, before we leave, give them a perfect solution to tackle all their woes with repeat sentence. Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so let's begin with the discussion of marking guideline, Ali. As we know that repeat sentence has 13 marks, uh, of course, 5 marks for pronunciation, 5 marks for fluency. Uh, that's a discussion for us speaking, and we will leave that to some other day. My concentration today will be on discussing on content. And content is what's actually going to generate your listening section scores from repeat sentence. Now, dear students, I want to shout, I want to be as loud as I can be, but please understand this. The highest score from one repeat sentence, which is 3 marks, can only be achieved if you are able to repeat the sentence exactly as what the prompt was in the correct sequence. So the sentence has to be repeated 100% correct, exactly as what the sentence was on the prompt. Okay, that's the only way. Now, as soon as you start to make mistakes, there are ranges of errors. So we have replacements, we have omissions, we have insertions. You start to lose scores, and this is what a student does not understand. So they have this misconception of, some of the students are ill-advised, and they've been said that, okay, even if you don't remember, just add some words and make up a sentence. So as you can see from Pearson's marking guideline, if you are able to repeat 50% or more, you will get 2 out of 3 for content. But you add words and you try to complete a sentence, you don't get scores. You will lose scores. Okay.
Okay.
And anything less than 50% incorrect sequence, you would still get 1 mark out of 3 for content. So as you can see, the only possible way to get 3 out of 3 for content is to get the sentence 100% correct. Now, I would also want to make the students aware of what their objective should be in order for them to secure the listening scores from
Okay.
repeat sentence. Okay. And the goal for 2020 is to try and see if we can repeat 6 to 7 sentences 100% correct. I repeat,
Okay.
6 to 7% exactly as what was said on the prompt. Okay. Now, our goal is also to secure 2 out of 3 for the rest of the sentences. And this is where the challenge starts. Now, the challenge would also start when you try and repeat everything 100% correct, thinking that you are repeating everything 100% correct, but you're adding words. So that's a challenging part as well. So nonetheless, let's try and go forward with a path whereby we can always secure 100% or 3 out of 3 for most of the sentences. And as a plan B, what can we do to get 2 out of 3 for rest of the sentences? So that's going to be the next part. And which brings me to the challenges that the students face.
Okay.
So Ali, as you already know, that the students and their biggest challenge when they are solving repeat sentence question is actually trying to recall the sentence itself and trying to recall as many sentences, as many words from the sentence itself. And the problem starts with, let's say, the approach itself. Okay. Now, our research indicates that our brain can process up to 4 pieces of information at one go. Okay. And if, for an example, if there is a repeat sentence that has 8 words in it, there's a likely chance that the student would try to process everything together and will end up probably processing maybe first 4 words properly. Okay. And then the rest of them are unclear because the approach was not right. Because as the research indicates and science indicates that our brain can process 4 pieces of information at one go. And as a result of that, Ali, what happens is they either tangle up or they mumble trying to say the sentence, or because they somewhat remember the sentence, they try and say it as fast as they can just to get it done. And that takes away the clarity aspect of the sentence. So we also have to consider the fact that the repeat sentence also has marks of pronunciation and fluency. So if a sentence is not clear, if it's not understandable, if it is not communicated in the right manner, the words that were repeated would not be understandable by the system.
So it is not a good idea to process or approach the sentence as a group of words, word by word.
Exactly, yes. So that wouldn't be the advice, okay? Because one or two things would happen. The student will not be able to recall all the words, and also the student would take away the clarity because they're trying to say word by word, and that would not make their answer clear enough. Okay.
And you are still talking about a short sentence of 8 words. So what if it was a long sentence?
Yes,
so it's
of
way
course.
harder. Yeah.
It's very difficult, and of course, and you'd have challenges within those 8-word sentences whereby there might be a difficult vocabulary, for example, and then that will make the student even more scared, and then of course and they will end up adding words and things like that. So we want to avoid all that, and we would still want to use science to approach repeat sentence. So right here it says that our brain can process up to 4 pieces of information. Now we're going to use that one, Ali, whereby rather than listening to the sentence as words, we would try and see if we can group words together into those pieces and into those let's say group of words as chunks, and then we will repeat them as those chunks. Okay. Now our research also suggests that it says, and I would want to quote this, is that recall performance is also better when all the words in a list are taken from a single semantic category.
What is that semantic category? That's so advanced.
Okay, so in simple words, it means recalling words in chunks. Okay, and I believe we discussed about chunking the other day when we were talking about read aloud. And we discussed in depth into the importance of being very informative and recalling and repeating information in a very meaningful manner. Now, how about chunking? As a form of short-term memory skill? We can do that, and we can use that as a short-term memory skill to repeat and recall repeat sentences, whereby we chunk and group pieces of information when we listen and store it in our short-term memory. And as we already know that there are 4 parts, and we store it in the short-term memory and then recall it as and when it's the time. In that way, I believe the shorter sentences, let's go back to our goal, the shorter sentences, which would be maybe 8 to 10 words long, we would always have the opportunity to repeat them 100% correct, because we remembered not as words, but as group of words, as chunks. And then we would easily be able to deliver it back confidently. Now, we would also want to ensure that when we are repeating back, we would also have to be clear enough. You see how and when the students start to go bam, 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 word by word, it's not clear, and you're going too fast. Yeah, so exactly. So we want to speak in chunks, because speaking in chunk is meaningful, as I believe the students have already found out through our read aloud discussion. So we would want to use this as our approach for repeat sentence. Dear viewers, I would also say that there are a bit more spicy things to use in repeat sentence on top of chunking. So be sure to tune in tomorrow. We have a part 2 of our short-term memory skill building. Ali is going to give you a bit more tips and tricks into that. But today, let's try and demonstrate, Ali. Let's try and demonstrate to the students what can they do in order for them to do well, and in order for them to use chunking as a form of method to enhance their short-term memory skill and to use it for repeat sentence. Here we go, Ali.
Good
I will
suit.
play you some sentences.
Okay.
Let's see what you do. All right. Here we go, Ali. I will be playing you a short sentence.
Yep, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
This blog piece is full of factual errors.
This blog piece is full of factual errors.
Okay. Now, Ali,
No chunks at all.
I thank you for speaking from a student's perspective. Okay. Now, yes, I believe you are 100% right. But I would have said, I'm sorry, Ali, wait, I could not hear you properly. Or
Wasn't
it wasn't
understandable,
clear enough.
yeah?
Yeah, so
I was so fast.
just yes, exactly. And this, what may happen is, what if this sentence had a difficult vocabulary and you know the student was simply lost, and then just the added words or just mumbled. Now, good news is that this sentence was easy, but then again, the clarity was not there. How about we use chunking to?
I think I just have a question. What about the two different color patterns you've got?
Thank you for bringing that up, Ali. This is something that we introduced to the students on the other day with our read aloud, whereby we are chunking information, grouping words together in a meaningful pattern,
Okay.
and then repeating in that way. So rather than listening to the sentence as a whole, how about we play the, let me just play the sentence again for you. And just give me 1 second. So let me play the sentence again.
This blog piece is full of factual errors.
So as you can see, this blog piece is full of factual errors. So don't listen to the word as, 8 pieces of information or 10 pieces of information, but as a group of words, this block piece, that's one part of your memory.
Block piece is full of factual
errors. Okay. All right. Good work, Ali. Now let's try and see if we can move on to our next question, whereby I would want you to go and use chunking as a form of recalling information. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
It must be great to live in a place like that.
It must be great to live in a place like that.
Exactly.
More natural, more easier as well, more confident as well.
More confident, yeah. It must be great to live in a place like that.
So if I want to count how many words has it got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, big difference.
As you can see,
2 pieces of information versus 10 pieces of information. So
exactly.
I think
if you use your short-term memory the right way, even if it's a big sentence, it is still achievable. Okay. Now this one, as you can see, it's got quite a few number of words, but you've used your chunking and your short-term memory together to recall the entire sentence. So, dear viewers, let's try and do this together with Ali. We would want to use the short-term memory skill, the chunking skill, to recall the repeat sentence. So I'm going to play a few more sentences for you guys. Here we go. 3, 2.
Anyone who feels ill should visit our medical centre.
Anyone who feels ill should visit our medical center. Okay.
Good job.
Even this one is a bit longer, but still 2 chunks. Like the magic here, it doesn't matter if you have more words. You're still within the 2 chunks. We're still processing 2 pieces of information. This is awesome.
You're not looking into a long, short, medium range sentences. All you're looking at is how can I group the words together and then move on to that next group. So which is how can I chunk one word together, one piece of one set of words together, and how can I move on to the next one? Okay. Now, of course, we still need to go back to our plan B, which was what if it's just too much for us? So in that way, our chunking would also help. But here we go. Let's practice a few more. 3, 2, 1.
Anatomy is the study of internal and external body structures.
Anatomy is the study of internal and external body structures.
Very good. As you can see, anatomy is the study of internal and external body structures.
I got it fully correct.
Yes. Well done. Here we go. Let's try another one, Ali.
Longer. Yalla.
3, 2, 1.
Most countries don't do nearly enough to reduce climate change.
Most countries don't do nearly enough to reduce climate change.
I believe so. I believe so. Well done. You see, now, this is my point. What if a student comes to a stage whereby it's getting too much for them? I already have most countries don't do nearly enough. That bit of information spoken with clarity, it's going to give me 2 out of 3 for content.
Okay.
If it's a case where the student is just having too much problem to process it, right? Here we go. Let's try another one. 3, 2, 1.
Gated communities have become increasingly popular worldwide.
Gated communities have become increasingly popular worldwide.
Oh, well done.
Okay, that's good.
There we go. Gated communities. Now, you see, this sentence I want to use as an example. Now, sometimes, it's gated communities. It's not something we are used to, this piece of information. You see, now if I try and listen to the entire sentence, gated communities have become increasing. I don't know what gated community means. Or let's say for most of our students, I'm not too sure. Before I had to do a bit of research to find out what gated communities actually mean. But if I chunk that piece of information at one go, I can easily process the information which was easy for me to understand, which was have become increasingly popular worldwide. So as you can see that first part, maybe it was not clear for you, but you've chunked it in a very small part. And then the rest of them, it was easy. But if you go at one go, you'd be lost because the first couple of words, maybe it was not understandable for you. Okay, so chunking definitely helps to enhance your short-term memory. Here we go, Ali. Now, we are getting into that sort of zone whereby the sentences might be getting longer. You might need to use a bit more of your brain.
Okay.
And maybe 3 chunks may come about. Okay, so let's try and see a practical use, guys. 3, 2, 1.
Some may think the history of journalism spans several centuries.
Some may think the history of journalism spans several centuries.
Ali, I think what you've done here is that you've broken the sentence down rather than into 2 chunks into 3 chunks, didn't you?
Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, it was 3 chunks, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I sensed that, and I would have done the same.
Yeah, that's it. 3 chunks.
Some may think the history of journalism spans several centuries. So I want to play this sentence just one more time, just so that the students understand.
Some may think the history of journalism spans several centuries.
It is going a bit longer and longer as we progress, right? So now some may think, that's first part of your brain. The history of journalism, that's another part of your brain, spans several centuries, right? Now we are getting into those territories whereby if it is not possible for you to repeat the entire sentence, how about go for 50% or more without any insertions? So some may think the history of journalism. How about this? This is good enough for you to secure that 2 out of 3. We are looking into our goal for 2020, which is the correct approach, the correct mindset. Chunking would definitely help you to secure that. Let's try another one, Ali.
Yeah, let's go.
3, 2, 1.
With the help of explorers, it started to reach many parts of the world.
With the help of explorers, it started to reach many parts of the world.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. So here we have, this is a perfect academic sentence which can be dissected into perfect chunks. With help of explorers, that's, already done there. With the help of explorers,
one phrase,
started to reach many parts of the world. Let's go another one, Ali. Now we are getting into danger zones. 3, 2, 1.
For more videos covering the latest breaking news, click on the links below.
For more videos covering the latest breaking news, click on the links below. 3 chunks as well?
Yeah. Well done. For more
I'm the
videos,
master of repeat sentence.
Covering the repeats.
Thank you for this method.
No, Ali, this is again, dear viewers, we are talking about using chunking to have the correct approach. Remember, there will be instances whereby you will have difficult sentences or longer sentences. What's your go-to method? What's your method where you can secure the maximum scores or near maximum scores? You see, when the shorter sentences came about, we were easily able to chunk it into 2 parts. When the longer sentences came about, we used up an extra piece of our short-term memory, whereby we were chunking it into 3 pieces now. And then, to our best capabilities, we're able to do it. But what if it gets to even extreme? Because we do know, Ali, that some sentences may come in like, 14, 15 words.
Yeah.
And we do have those sentences. So let's get into those danger territories and find out what can be done. Okay, here we go, guys. Dear students, 3, 2, 1.
According to experts, warmer temperatures in Greenland cause more rain in the UK.
According to experts, warmer temperatures in Greenland cause more rain in the UK.
That's a quite long sentence, Ali, is it not?
It is. It is actually
quite a long
challenging.
sentence.
It's a bit
It is a challenging one, yeah. So according to experts, warmer temperatures in Greenland cause more rain in the UK. But
3 chunks.
even though there are so many words, it's just 3 pieces of information for a student.
Way easier.
According to expert.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
not according to expert and warmer climates. You see, your brain, as it's listening word by word, the attention has already lapsed from the first part. But how about according to experts? Now that's stored in one chunk.
This is one
chunk
piece
is
of information.
Exactly, in your short-term memory. Then move on to the next one. Then move on to the next one. If you are not able to move on to the next one, be happy with the first 2, right? There we go. Ali. 3, 2, 1.
Population growth is the key factor contributing to food shortages around the world.
Population growth is the key factor contributing to food shortages around the world.
Ali,
did you add another phrase right now?
I think you did, yeah. So this one is a bit longer, and it would be more convenient to chunk it into not just 3, into 4 pieces of information.
Yeah, 4 pieces of information, yeah.
So that you have the first chunk, population growth, is a key factor, contributing to food shortages around the world. Now, you see, we can always jump to our plan B, right? Whereby if a sentence is a medium to large range, rather than trying to force ourselves to add words, insert words, and making content errors and losing listening scores, how about we secure 2 out of 3?
That's awesome.
Goal for 2020, right? So let's try and explain and give a demonstration for one more sentence, Ali. As you have skillfully demonstrated the art of chunking. Let's go one more time. 3, 2, 1.
There may be a ban on exporting rare works of art, but not usually on importing them.
There may be a ban on exporting rare works of art, but not usually on importing them.
So
it's a bit long, this one.
It's not only long, it's got some, quirky vocabularies as well, right? So what can we do? There may be a ban on exporting rare works of art. You see how convenient it is to have chunked 2 good pieces of information, which is already 50% or more. So dear students, this is the advice. This is the top advice that I can give you guys, is that rather than forcing yourself to repeat a sentence at one go or trying different methods, enhance your short-term memory skill. Use that art of short-term memory skill. Use chunking to enhance your short-term memory skill. Okay. Keep in mind, whatever you repeat, it has to be spoken with clarity. Okay. And if you are not speaking with clarity and you are making up sentences, you are destroying the purpose of repeat sentence task. Eventually you will be hampering your listening scores. So goal is to get the near maximum or the maximum scores, but be very, very skillful about it and be very smart about it. Okay, so use chunking to tackle repeat sentence. Tomorrow, me and Ali will be coming up with a bit more exciting, some add-ons with this method so that you can get even better. Okay, that's it from me today, guys. Ali.
Thank you, Atik, so much. It was very helpful. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.